Welcome. This is Recidiva. I'm sharing a recording of a casual Skyrim playthrough using a mod list I built. My profound thanks to all the mod creators who have made this game a crowdsourced treasure. I hope you enjoy. Gotta have the Wolf Queen Part 1.
This collection is the envy of artifact collectors everywhere.
I love Vandal. Since you can't screw with my, Okay, yeah, I definitely have Wolf King volume. Okay, that's good. I'm gonna put those into weight and just grab some different ones. Sweetheart. I know we read the mirror. Okay. Okay, yeah.
You have something to say?
No, I don't like being called dog, but I get it. Okay. Frostflow Abyss. Yeah, we did Frostflow Abyss. Okay. Pale Lady, Frostmere Crypt. Hey, Vandal. Wanna go into a crypt? Mm-hmm. Okay. Wish you guys could hear his purr. He's one of the louder purrs on the planet, but even a loud purr, you'd have to be really close to the mic. Mm-hmm. And if I tried to put my headset...
Who in Dagon's name are you? Speak, or I'll cut you down where you stand.
Wait, what's going on here?
Oh, I was part of the gang in the ruins here. Friend of mine went crazy and stole the boss's sword. They blamed me for it. Look, I'm done here. Mop the floor with these idiots for all I care. Just get out of my way.
Looking good. I'm assuming that's a Cold Sun makeover. Learn more about the theft in I think I remember this. Hey, Katie. Yeah. can't have both hands, baby. Hold on. If I tried to put my headset on him, I'm pretty sure he'd run away, though. Not great.
But Isa? She's smarter than that.
Cheers.
Yeah. Kajit and the young lady. Yikes. I am really sorry about that. Okay, exit boss door.
Kerr's orders. Nobody goes in or out. Spin you. Boss, we're down there.
Read Kier's log. Frostmere Crypt, week 12. What a disaster. We haven't seen a caravan in a week. We actually lost ground in the tunnels. Thal and his team were crushed when their section collapsed. I've heard word of a mutiny. Next week isn't any better. Frostmere Crypt, week 13. 2 new recruits, Asa and Rajir. Girl said she did time at Sidna Mine down in Markarth, and it shows. She's got more experience than all of us put together. I've put her in charge of the dig. Cat's good with the blade, so I've sent him topside with the raiders. Frostmere Crypt, week 14. Tunnel's going well. Aisa made our first big find just yesterday. Buried chest with a couple hundred gold. Topside, Rajir and his team have hit 5 merchants this week, in and out faster than the guard can respond. Looks like things are finally going my way. Frostmere Crypt, week 15. Tunnel broke out into some kind of giant cavern. There's a whole forest down there. Found a nice sword all laid out in some kind of monument and everything, but this is just strange. Eerie. What is this place? Not like any tomb I've ever seen. Frostmere Crypt, week 16. I think the cat's gone crazy. All of a sudden he can't focus, keeps muttering to himself. He's gone from our best raider to our worst. Botched 2 jobs just today. Ice is trying to cover for him, but she's not fooling anyone. Lately he keeps asking to see my sword, begging to borrow it. I'd let him get his paws on it. It's beautiful, perfectly balanced, better than any I've ever held. Sure, you can have it. Right in the gut.
Something's just felt wrong down there lately. As crazy as the cat. Knowing what about them.
Ice's journal. Left. Okay, so this isn't what I thought it was. Not a young lady in a khajiit. That will probably happen somewhere else. Left the White River gang this morning with Hajvar's thugs on our tail. It wasn't a bad gig, but it was time to move on. Ajir and I weren't getting anywhere with him in charge. I'll never understand how he does it. I couldn't find so much as a rumor in Windhell, while Rajir stayed outside the city, got wasted on moon sugar, and still managed to find us a lead. Some gang up Morthal way. Holed up in an old ruin, digging it out in between raids in the caravans. Joined up with Kier's band. The treasure hunting dig is a disaster. 3 months of work have barely cleared a single haul, and 6 men have died from the Kaidans. I've taken charge of the dig, while Rajir is leading the raids topside. Maybe that year in Sidna Mine would pay off after all. You'd think a man who could swing a sword could use a pickaxe, but these louts are exhausted after barely an hour. No wonder this tunnel's taking forever. We've set up round-the-clock shifts and ordered double rations for the best diggers. That'll give them some incentive. Night shift woke me to say they'd hit something big. Kier, Rajir, and I went down to take a look. It's huge, like a whole forest was just swallowed up by the earth. The big old monument out in the center. Kira took the sword from it as a trophy, proof his whole plan was finally paying off. For once, he might be right. Rajir's been having nightmares over the past few days. He keeps muttering about a pale lady, one of those swamp women who steal children away at night, I think. I think some fool story could turn the toughest bandit I know into a cowardly kitten, frightened of his own shadow. I'm just glad none of the others seem like this. It's getting worse. Rajir can barely sleep at all now, and whenever he dozes off, he wakes up screaming. Woke the whole place last night. He says the pale lady is coming for us. She's down in the forest. We have to return the sword or she'll kill us all. Not a chance. The boss clings to that thing like he was born with it. I've told everyone, Rajir just has a fever, but this can't go on. Hold a few things together, I'll slip out tonight, and never look back. Doesn't seem fair, does it? No, not really isn't.
Something's wrong. Boss been down there too long.
Yeah.
Huh?
Hey, keep your hands to yourself. Finally, someone came. The cat, Rajir, ambushed me. He's trying to take the sword back. I can't.
Okay. Okay.
Fine.
That's it.
No! No!
Hey, Regina. The Pale Blade. Target takes 25 points of frost damage and 50 points of stamina damage. Weaker creatures and people flee for 30 seconds. Not bad. Okay. I don't know what happens if you activate the sword stand. Nothing. Okay. Remember this is the way out or what? Oh, yay. Pretty down here. It sounds like we probably missed Rajir's journal, wherever it was. It was optional. Oh well. I imagine it was like, I have to bring the sword to the pale lady. Oh, my head. But taking up a couple of pages. I'm sorry if I have missed a masterpiece of exposition. But now I can't get the arrow. Hey. Hey, Brynjolf.
Things are looking up around here, lass.
I'm so glad, man. I wish you all the joy as the least unpleasant.
Got lots of jobs available. Interested?
Oh my god, okay.
Aye.
Steal anything worth talking about? Here's your gold. Try not to spend it all in one place. Okay, what'll it be? Got more than you can handle. Someone with connections to our guild. Fine, just keep it clean. Here you go.
Okay. Well, that's disappointing, but not necessarily unexpected. Yeah, I don't think the safe repopulates with anything. Okay, a scroll for Anska, headed to Highgate Ruins. No idea where those are. Okay, close to Winstead Manor. Wow. Windstad, okay. Okay, I'm gonna head up here, get the shard. Hello, PD love. Sweetheart. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm not petting him fast enough. It's okay, come on. I'll pet you, sweetie. Hey. It's okay, sweetheart. It's alright. Sometimes I'm just playing a video game, you know? It's no big deal. Doesn't mean I don't love you. Okay, I'm gonna I'm gonna be riding one-handed for a little bit. I can't turn with my mouse wheel. Okay, now I can. Hold on. Try to get my heading. Is it this way? Let's try that. I have to pet the very frantic puppy. It's important. And now I'm lost. I think it's north from here. Huh? Wow. Okay. Okay, Cape. I see you. Alright. Hey, PD. Okay, I'm gonna discover this camp. Because I'm headed that way and I still have to pet a puppy. And then I'm gonna... Okay.
Fight or die well.
I don't really want to do either. Okay. PD has been petted. All is well with the world. See Solitude over to the west. It's a beautiful night. Coming up on the end of autumn soon. All the grass will be gone and it'll just be snow. Cool red effect on the ground, the shadows of the bowls.
Yes? What do you want, little elf?
Who are you?
I'm Anska. Are you here to help?
Help with what?
I've finally located Voken's crypt. The scroll I'm looking for just has to be here. Maybe you could help find it. I just know it's in here.
What scroll?
It's probably meaningless to you, but according to family legend, it links our bloodline back to Iskramor himself.
What kind of help do you need?
If Vokun is as powerful as I think, I may need a little help, dealing with him.
What's in it for
You
me?
can have anything, except the scroll, of course.
I'll help.
Great. With the two of us, this should be easy.
Okay, I'm vaguely recalling it's very hard to keep her alive on higher difficulties. I mean, really hard. And I hate escort missions, and I don't really know how to protect people, but I'm gonna try to sneak, take all the aggro, and see if I can keep her alive. But I'm pretty sure I've tried this before, and she was very dead very fast. Would have been so cool if I made that shot. But I didn't. Yeah, you see she's in like heavy plate. She thinks she's a tank. She runs straight in. And yeah, I think I just shot her. So, I would like to keep her alive, but I'm not going to spend the whole day on it. Restoring and restoring and restoring and restoring. I'm going to do my best, but she's not terribly bright, and she gets herself killed. And she's not technically a follower, like someone you can add. I don't know if I can ask her to stay there.
Is that magic? Careful, please.
I'm always careful. Okay, yeah. She's not a follower. I can't tell her anything. I can't ask her to safely wait. I would get it for her and give it to her. Okay, there is no way up there from here. Okay. That looks like a trap. Yeah, traps like that might even kill her if she triggers it on the way down. Okay. Don't step on the big slimy door.
We'll have to figure out the correct order to fit them.
Okay, so up here, eagle, whale, wolf, snake. Okay, there are several levers. Where are the pillars? Oh, there's gotta be, okay. There we go. There's little pictures. Didn't see them at first. That's the whale. So I need to find the eagle. Eagle. Whale. Wolf. Snake. Okay, good. Yeah, that's an issue with sneaking. I don't want to leave anyone behind me to get her killed.
Someone there.
Hey, good for you, honey. That's good. You're doing okay. Let's make it to the end, okay? I'm gonna block the door so she can't actually get through. So they do that, and I don't have a choice. Wow, you booked. Come on. You can do it. Come on back. I'm expecting arrows. Okay. Right. Hoping she doesn't die in here. Okay. Okay, snake. Snake. Snake, snake. Yep, 3 snakes. Okay, I see 3 snakes. No puzzle yet, but... Kavazin's Fang. Okay, it's probably the legacy of the Dragonborn. Okay. Okay, Anska.
I
I've retrieved the scroll.
cannot thank you enough for all of the help.
Here's the scroll.
And here's a little something for helping me out.
Okay. Conjure flaming familiar. Those are actually cool. I like that. I like the flaming familiar. Wow, we have some texture issues here. Okay, I'm gonna go back to this room back here. I don't understand why there are snakes up here, but considering there's a texture issue in the next room, I may never find out. Yeah, I got a problem. Yeah, there's a problem in here. I don't really want to hang out here trying to figure it out. Very likely I'm gonna bug and crash. So that is a window to nowhere. I don't know what the puzzle is, and I'm not gonna try to figure it out with that happening. I'm just glad I kept her alive. Wait. Oh, yeah, I have to run all the way back. Okay. You know what? I'm just gonna pour it out. Yeah. Armor. Arrow diagram. Yeah. Arrow. Soul gem. Okay. Oh, we did. Rajir's note. Isa, I see her in every shadow, hear her voice in every breath of the wind, in my dreams, in my ears, in my mind. The Pale Lady. We have to stop her. Just return the sword and we can shut her away forever. I can't take this anymore. I have to do it. I must. Rajir. I left Eldri's notes on Kagrumes. I'm closer to solving the mystery of these ruins. I found references in ancient Dwemer texts that call Kagrumes the site of a set of trials, a training ground of sorts. This is thus far unprecedented in my research. This could explain why that gate is so unmovable. The proper trial has not been completed. It's possible nobody's opened this gate since the days of the Dwemer. What treasures of the ancient world lie in wait behind these doors? The pattern on the gate seems to hold the solution to unlocking it. It bears resemblance to the console in the center of the chamber. But what does it mean? There are 9 holes that I assume are to be filled, but with what? If only I had the means to fund more expeditions to the other Dwemer ruins of Solstheim. I surely hold the keys to opening the locked gate. Even if I had the means to start the trials, I surely have not the means to complete them. I can't wait for more funding. I'm going to have to recruit those who will act on the promise of treasure alone. Surely there are those as excited about this find as I am. Raleth Eldri. Yeah, they killed you, didn't they? Dragonborn by Torhal Bjork. In the Merethic era, when Ysgramor first set foot on Tamriel, his people brought with them a faith that worshipped animal gods. Certain scholars believe these primitive people actually worshipped the divines as we know them, just in the form of these totem animals. They deified the hawk, wolf, snake, moth, owl, whale, bear, fox, and the dragon. Every now and then you could stumble across the broken stone totems in the farther reaches of Skyrim. Foremost among all the animals was the dragon. In the ancient Nordic tongue it was drakon. Occasionally the term dovra is used, but the language or derivation of that is not known. Using either name was forbidden to all except the dragon priests. Grand temples were built to honor the dragons and appease them. Many of them survive today as ancient ruins haunted by Draugr and undead dragon priests. Dragons, being dragons, embraced their role as god-kings over men. After all, were they not fashioned in Akatosh's own image? Were they not superior in every way to the hordes of small, soft creatures that worshipped them? For dragons, power equals truth. They had the power, so therefore it must be the truth. They had the power, so therefore it must be the truth. Dragons granted small amounts of power to the dragon priests in exchange for absolute obedience. In turn, the dragon priests ruled men as equals to the kings. Dragons, of course, could not be bothered with actually ruling. And at Mora, where Isgormor and his people came from, the dragon priests demanded tribute and set down laws and codes of living that held peace between dragons and men. In Tamriel, they were not nearly as benevolent. It's unclear if this was due to an ambitious dragon priest or a particular dragon or a series of weak kings. Whatever the cause, the dragon priests began to rule with an iron fist, making virtual slaves of the rest of the population. When the populace rebelled, the dragon priests retaliated. When the dragon priests could not collect the tribute or control the masses, the dragon's response was swift and brutal. So it was the dragon war began. At first, men died by the thousands. The ancient texts reveal that a few dragons took the side of men. Why they did this is not known. The priests of the Nine Divines claim it was Akatosh himself that intervened. From these dragons, men learned magics to use against dragons. The tide began to turn and dragons began to die too. The war was long and bloody. The dragon priests were overthrown and dragons were slaughtered in large numbers. The surviving dragons scattered, choosing to live in remote places away from men. The dragon cult itself adapted and survived. They built the dragon mount, entombing the remains of dragons that fell in the war. They believed that one day the dragons would rise again and reward the faithful. The Exodus by Wayland Jarr. Vrala was a little girl, beautiful and sweet-natured, beautiful and smart, beautiful and energetic, everything that her parents had dreamed she would be. As perfect as she was, they could not help but have dreams for her. Her father, a bit of a social climber named Munten, thought she would marry well, perhaps become a princess of the empire. Her mother, an insecure woman named Sinetta, though she would reach greatness on her own as a knight or a sorceress. Thought she would reach greatness on her own as a knight or a sorceress. As much as they wanted the very best for their daughter, they argued about what her fate would be, but both were wrong. Instead of growing up, she grew very ill. The temples told them to give up hope, and the Mages Guild told them that what afflicted Vrala was so rare, so deadly, that there was no cure. She was doomed to die, and soon. When the great institutions of the Empire failed them, Munten and Sinetta sought out the witches, the sorcerer hermits, and the other hidden secret powers that lurk in the shadows of civilization. I can think of only one place you can go, said an old herbalist they found in the most remote peaks of the Rothgarian Mountains. The Mages Guild at Oladwell. But we've already been to the Mages Guild, protested Munten. They couldn't help us. Go to Olenveld, this herbalist insisted, and tell no one that you are going there. It was not easy to find Olenveld, as it did not appear on any modern map. In a bookseller's in Skyrim, however, they found it in a historic book of cartography from the Second Era, in the yellowed pages. There was Olenveld, a city on an island in the northern coast, a day's sail in summertide from Winterhold. Bundling their pale daughter against the chill of the ocean wind, the couple set sail, using the old map as their only guide. For nearly 2 days they were at sea, circling the same position, wondering if they were the victim of a cruel trick. And then they saw it. In the mist of crashing waves were twin crumbled statues framing the harbor, long forgotten gods or heroes. The ships were half-sunk, rotten shells along the docks. Munten brought his ship in, and the three walked into the deserted island city. Taverns with broken windows, plaza with a dried-up well, shattered palaces and fire-blackened tenements, barren shops and abandoned stables, all desolate, all still but for the high keening ocean wind that whistled through the empty places. And gravestones. Every road and alley was lined and crossed again with memorials to the dead. Munten and Sinetta looked at one another. The chill they felt had little to do with the wind. Then they looked at Vrala and continued on to their goal, the Mages Guild of Olenveld. Candlelight glistened through the windows of the great dark building, but it brought them little relief to know that someone was alive in the island of death. They knocked on the door and steeled themselves against whatever horror they might face within. The door was opened by a rather plump, middle-aged Nord woman with frizzy blonde hair. Standing behind her, a meek-looking bald Nord about her age, A shy teenage Breton couple, still very pimply and awkward, and a very old apple-cheeked Breton man who grinned with delight at the visitors. "Oh my goodness," said the Nord woman, all afluster. "I thought my ears must be fooling me when I heard that door knocking. Come in, it's so cold." The three were ushered in the door, and they were relieved to find that the guild did not look abandoned in the least. It was well swept, well lit, and cheerfully decorated. The group fell into introductions. The inhabitants of the guild house in Olenveld were two families, the Nords Hjalmar and Netta, and the Bretons Luel, Rosalind, and Old Winster. They were friendly and accommodating, immediately bringing some mulled wine and bread, while Munten and Sinetta explained to them what they were doing there, and what the healers and herbalists had said about Vala. "So you see," said Sinetta tearfully, "we didn't think we'd find the Mages Guild in Oldenveld, and now that we have, please, you're our last hope." 5 strangers also had tears in their eyes. Netta wept particularly noisily. "Oh, you've been through too much," the Nord woman bawled. "Of course we'll help. Your little girl will be right as rain." "It is fair to tell you," said Hjalmar, more stoically, though he clearly was also touched by the tale. "This is a guild house, but we are not mages. We took this building because it was abandoned, and it serves our purposes since the Exodus. We are necromancers." "Necromancers?" Sinetta quivered. How could these nice people be anything so horrible? "Yes, dear." Netta smiled, patting her hand. "I know, we have a bad reputation. I'm afraid never was very good. And now that well-meaning but foolish Archmagister Hannibal Traven, may the Worm King eat his soul," cried the old man quite suddenly and very viciously. Now, Winster," said his teenage girl Rosalind, blushing and smiling at Sinetta apologetically. I'm sorry about him. He's usually very sweet-natured." "Well, of course, he's right. Manimarker will have the last say in the matter," Hjalmar said. "But right now, it's all very, awkward. When Traven officially banned the art, we had to go into hiding. The only other option was to abandon it altogether, and that's just foolish, though there are many who have done it. Not many people know about Olenwald anymore since Tiber Septim used it as his own personal graveyard," said Luo. "Took us a week to find it again, but it's perfect for us. Lots of dead bodies, you know." "Luo," Rosalind admonished him, "you're going to scare them." "Sorry," Luo grinned sheepishly. "I don't care what you do here," said Munten sternly. "I just want to know what you can do for my daughter." "Well," said Hjalmar with a shrug, "I guess we can make it so she doesn't die, and is never sick again." Sinetta gasped. "Please, we'll give you everything we have." "Nonsense," said Netta, picking up Ral in her big beefy arms. "Oh, what a beautiful girl. Would you like to feel better, little sweetheart?" Rala nodded wearily. "You stay here," Hjalmar said. "Rosalind, I'm sure we have something better than bread to offer these nice folks." Netta started to carry Frala away, but Sinetta ran after her. "Wait! I'm coming too!" "Oh, I'm sure you would, but it would ruin the spell, dear," Netta said. "Don't worry about a thing. We've done this dozens of times." Munten put his arms around his wife, and she relented. Rosalind hurried off to the kitchen and brought some roast fowl and more mulled wine for them. They ate in silence. They sat in silence again. Winster shuddered suddenly. "The little girl has died." "Oh," Sinetta gasped. "What in oblivion do you mean?" Munten cried. "Winster, was that really necessary?" Luel scowled at the old man before turning to Munten and Sinetta. "She had to die. Necromancy is not about curing a disease, it's about resurrection. Total regeneration, transforming the whole body, not just the parts that aren't working now." Munten stood up angrily. If those maniacs killed her..." "They didn't," Rosalind snapped, her shy eyes now showing fire. "Your daughter was on her last breath when she came in here. Anyone could see that. I know this is hard, horrible even, but I won't have you call that sweet couple who are only trying to help you maniacs." Sinetta burst into tears. "But she's going to live now, isn't she?" "Oh, yes," Luel said, smiling broadly. "Oh, thank you," Sinetta burst into tears. "I don't know what we would have done." "I know how you feel," said Rosalind, patting Winster's hand firmly. When I thought we were going to lose him, I was willing to do anything, just like you. Sinetta smiled. How old is your father? My son, Rosalind corrected her. He's 6. From the other room came the sound of tiny footsteps. Fraulein, go give your parents a big hug, said Shaman. Montaigne and Sinetta turned, and the screaming began.
The artwork around this place is beautiful.
Okay, we're gonna go rob Yvette San. I have been playing Throne and Liberty straight for like 5 days, but that means I got to 50. It took me 5 days to get to 50, which is the level cap. It is a gorgeous, awesome, amazing game. The only real problem that I would caution people against is it is pay to play beyond beyond most games that I have seen. So you can't... One of the weird choices that they have made with their economy is you can't sell stuff. I mean, you can only sell... I'm going to use someone else's numbers. You can't sell 90% of stuff. And when you sell stuff, the only way you can sell it is not the in-game currency, but the shop currency. So, it's problematic, and I don't know where that's going, but with that disclaimer, I love this game. I mean, I love this game. So I played. It is my... Although I understand people, and I understand that this is an issue with pay-to-play, I do believe to be clear, it's a free-to-play game. So you can absolutely get by, and a lot of, hustling people get the stuff and then sell it for the shop currency. So it's possible. It is a lot harder and a lot slower. And if that's what you want, cool. I have a tendency to want the best stuff and then rush to the end, which is what I did. And but I haven't encountered more than like a couple I got stuck in a place bugs. So highly recommended, with the caveat that if you have an issue with pay to play, you will not like it there. Although you will grudgingly admit it's very pretty, and it works. Okay, I have forgotten how to Skyrim. Okay, yeah, forgive me if my I'm hitting the wrong keys all the time because I've been playing another game for 5 days straight where all of the controls are different. Okay, we need to go to Hilgrin's tomb. Which I have not discovered. it's southeast of Valtheim. So we're gonna figure somewhere here-ish. Stop it. Okay. Oh yeah, see, I'm mapping wrong. Yeah, okay. Wait, I should know this, like, whole place. Alright, I'm gonna go to the eastern field station, see if I can locate it from there. So yeah, my husband and I have been having a great old time. And he is doing the no pay, all play version while he actually has a real job, so it will take him a little while longer, but I might just go start a second character. Alright, that looks like a tomb. Okay, good. So yes, as a modder, it is interesting to go see a seamless expression of all the things that I'm trying to get done here. Bo is upset. Oh, sweetheart, just go outside, honey. It's a beautiful day. There's nothing to worry about. Oh, yeah, okay. I think I remember this one. But it, usually when I play games, I have, Gems of War up, which is a matching game. And, I've had no time to play Gems of War because there are no loading screens, no zoning. Unless you're being ported into a dungeon. But if you open a door, you actually have an animation of opening a door. With a seamless change in lighting. So I'm just impressed with, I can't remember what I'm trying to do. Okay. I am deeply impressed. Part of me is like, they deserve to charge money. So free to play, but very likely if you want certain things and certain appearances, and I guess the way that I would describe the oh, okay, I have to talk to someone.
Ah! Oh, my kind, you startled me. There's a necromancer around here, so watch yourself. Can you help me? He's in the tomb doing gods know what with my dead relatives.
Who's in the tomb?
Val's Baron. My family has never really seen eye to eye with him, and he has finally gone off the deep end. He's gone in to defile our family tomb by using our ancestors for his filthy dark elf necromancy. My aunt went in after him, but she hasn't come out yet, and I don't think I can take him by myself.
Keep alive. Oh, I don't remember. You let your aunt go in there by herself?
I'm not proud of it. I'm terrified of that place, and Aunt Agna knows it. My dad locked me in there in a drunken rage when he left us. 3 days in there eating the offerings left for our dead before Aunt Agna found me.
Oh my God.
Can
Wow.
you help me? He's in the tomb doing gods know what with my dead relatives.
Nasty. Nice to see freckles on you. Let's go.
Great. I'll unlock the door and meet you inside. Then you can lead the way.
So, as an example of pay to play, to make weapons or armor, to make the best weapons of armor, you need a pattern, and then like 5 multiples of 5 different types of material. Now you can go out and gather them. It's true. But if you try to gather them, you're going to need like hundreds, because it's going to get refined from, you know, base quality to rare quality to, you know, all the from white to green to blue to purple. And that's a lot of materials. And you can't sell the materials. So you're either going to have to do that massive grind, or you buy the in-game currency and buy the stuff off the marketplace that other people have farmed. Or, you know, you buy the packages that have the material with the in-game stuff. So, as a crafter, there's very little end-game. You can't, like, make stuff and sell it. I don't think you can even trade, like, physically trade with other people or other characters.
Hey, those belong to my family.
Well, fuck off.
Fine. Take whatever you want. As long as you help me get rid of Val.
So, also, gathering is insanely competitive for that reason.
Agna. Talos. Why
Sorry,
didn't I go
Agna.
in with her?
Yeah, you both get dead. I feel bad.
Guard the door. Gods only know how easy. Defiling the bodies of my ancestors.
Figure out what's quest in there, but maybe it's the ruby. I don't know. So I have managed through, you know, buying stuff to at level 50 getting 3 pieces of the higher tier gear out of like probably 9. No, more than 12. I didn't actually count. Okay, and that's just the equipment. Beyond that, you have to upgrade spells and skills. So, and each one has like a different material set. So if you're gonna do it the hard way, it's a big old grind. Fortunately, you don't need the best gear. Probably gonna be okay with drops, which are really rare. There are not many equipment drops. One of the cool things that I like, and one of the reasons why I got really quickly to 50 is I could cook. Wow. They really put you in like that? You'd really have to hate a relative to want to, like, stick him in a hole in the wall with their head stuck out like that. I mean, you guys. Wow, everybody's just running away. Is it really necessary to have 2 NPCs run back a mile in a dungeon? Come on, guys. No. Oh my god. Well, I'm so sorry. I'm not gonna restore. I earned that. I'm sorry. I was trying to hit the other guy. I hate escort missions. butterfly, bear. What? Snake, wolf, owl. I don't know. Oh man. I mean, I know I can resurrect him and load, but... I'm really sorry. Who I regret shooting in the butt. This is for Dude and Ed. I'm sorry. Sorry, I don't remember your name. I know it's started with a G. Start my game all over. You're a big old double boss door. Bummer. Sorry, Agna. I wish I could move your bodies to someplace respectful, but there doesn't seem to be. How about I just put you on the rug so you're not cold in Oblivion? I don't know. I'm so bummed. I'm so bummed and I'm so lost. Agna, how do I get out? Yeah. Probably can't tell me. Here? But I went there. Is that where? Okay. Bummer. So theoretically, all the Draugr in there were their ancestors, and they were trying to kill us. Yes? Then you have random necromancer. Hey, Ambar. I fucked up. I'm sorry. Yeah, you do kind of look angry with that helm. And such pretty purple eyes. I love you. I need a cat pet or something. I do, but if I could just, I mean, I wish I could mute Vex the same way that I've muted Heimskr. Just, it would just be satisfying not to have to listen to
Yes,
her
Lance. Did you need something?
tough girl fragile bitching. You're not that tough if you're just irritated by fucking everything and everybody.
It's one thing to say you've got the skills to be a thief. It's another to actually use them.
Back with good news, I trust? Fine. I guess you'll need your coin then.
Oh, see, it says so on the scroll. 3 jobs done in solitude. Okay, good.
I handled the... If you don't like that kind of work, talk to Delvin. He runs the more up-close and personal jobs.
Sure, Tom. You know I'm good for it.
Got plenty. Take your pick. One of the quick... If you're in... What do you say? All right. Take this and get out of here.
Still have quite a good bit of jobs available, if you're looking for some extra coin.
I finished that special Whiterun job. What?
Alfred sent ahead his compliments.
What?
Looks like his friend Arn is... More
I've already
importantly,
heard this.
he's pledged. I think you'll find... It's nice to shake off the cobwebs and get things rolling again.
Okay.
Keep this up, and I can see a bounty headed our way.
This is
The
really
only
weird.
way this guild's going to continue to grow is by taking
Okay,
extra...
I'm going to have to come to the conclusion that Thieves Guild's requirements is, buggy. And I'm gonna have to take it out. Not that the base game itself isn't buggy,
see you again,
because
Brad.
it is. Oh man, I have to... Alright. To wipe out the... Hall of the Dead. Ugh, just don't like me sometimes. Oh shit, sorry, I'm trying to... Yeah, I'm trying to dash sprint, which doesn't work here. Oops.
So nice to have pleasant company for a change.
Wow. Hey, Dandelion. I haven't had a rough day, but someone else really did, and it's my fault. Oh, yeah, that's fair.
Hey, wanna play tag?
No,
Pardon
just
me.
end up killing you.
Lady Atia says my voice is second only to hers, but she's selling
Oh, side note, if you have a freeze dryer and you get the idea that you're just gonna put caramel sauce in it, don't. You will get caramel froth on everything. And, yeah. Don't. It's yummy. It's been a bad day. I don't remember his name, but I will mourn G-Man. As a reminder of how much I can suck.
Long life to you, Thane.
Thank you, Jordis. Just not long life to G-Man. My god, I've got caramel sauce in my hair. Wow. Yeah, trying to take that out. The entire, like, chamber was just filled with caramel, like, flaky caramel froth. And then it fell on everything. It got on my hands. It got in my hair. Still on my way around in my own house. Now, I must have put down a... There we go. Okay. The Farmer, a Study by Ursa Ulthrax. I have studied and traveled and explored and observed, and my hypothesis has finally been confirmed, that the twisted farmer that inhabit the darkest depths of Skyrim are indeed the snow elves of legend. No one really knows when the story of the snow elves began, but the ancient work followed the Snow Prince, which is an account of the Battle of Mosring as described by Lokheim, chronicler to the chieftain Ingladir White-Eye, gives a rather vivid account of its ending. According to this eyewitness account, the great Falmer leader known only as the Snow Prince died in glorious battle. He was stabbed by a little girl, and was buried with honor by his Nord slayers. The remaining snow elves were scattered or slain, and were never heard from again, or so many thought. But where the story of the ancient snow elves ends, that of the current-day Falmer begins. For when the snow elf host was shattered on that fateful day, it did not simply disperse. It descended into the earth deep underground, where the Falmer sought sanctuary in the most unlikely of places, Blackreach, far beneath the surface of Skyrim, in the legendary realm of the Dwemer themselves. Yes, Blackreach exists. I've been there, and unlike most of those who have witnessed its terrible glories, I have returned, and I now know the truth about the Falmer. After their defeat by the Nords, dwarves of old agreed to protect the Falmer, but at a terrible price. For these Dwemer did not trust their snow elf guests, and forced them to consume the toxic fungi that once grew deep underground. As a result, the snow elves were rendered blind. Soon the majestic snow elves were rendered powerless. They became the dwarves' servants, and then their slaves. But the Dwemer's treachery was so deep, so complete, that they made the fungi an essential part of the Falmer's diet. This guaranteed the weakness of not only the current Falmer thralls, but their offspring as well. The snow elves, for time eternal, would be blind. But as is always the story with slaves and their masters, the Falmer eventually rebelled. Generations after they first sought solace among the dwarves and experienced bitter betrayal, the Falmer rose up against their oppressors. They overthrew the dwarves and fled even further down into Blackreach's deepest, most hidden reaches. For decade upon decade, the two sides waged a bitter conflict, a full-fledged and bloody war of the crag that raged deep below Skyrim's surface, completely unbeknownst in the Nords above, a war whose battle and heroes must forever remain lost to our knowledge. Until one day, the war ended. For on that day, the Falmer went to meet their Dwemer foes in battle, only to find that the entire race had vanished. Finally, free from the threat of their Dwemer overlords, the Falmer were able to spread freely through Blackreach. But years of fighting the dwarves had left them bloodthirsty and brutal. Feeling the need to conquer, to kill, they began mounting raids to the surface world. And so the legends began. Small, blind, goblin-like creatures who would rise from the cracks of the earth in the dead of night to slaughter cattle, attack lonely travelers, and steal sleeping babes from their cribs. In recent years, however, the sighting of these creatures has become more and more frequent. Their raids more organized, their attacks more brutal. In fact, one might even come to the conclusion that the Falmer are ready to change once again. Could it be true? Are the snow elves of all ages past ready to reclaim their long-forgotten glory? Are they ready to surge to the surface and make their war upon the light dwellers? If that happens, if the Falmer are indeed planning on reconquering Skyrim, fear or horror neither man nor gods could possibly stand against. Sometimes I feel like it's a deja vu thing. Sometimes I feel as though I'm reading the book again, so I'm trying to make sure I didn't restore like an earlier game. But yeah, some of them just have the same content, just rephrased. First told Revolt by Mavis C. You told me that if her brother won, she would be sister to the King of Wayrest. And Reman would want to keep her for the alliance, but her brother, Helseth, lost and has fled with his mother back to Morrowind, and still Reman has not left her to marry me. Lady Gialine took a long, slow drag of the hookah and blew out dragon's breath, till the scent of blossoms perfumed her gilded chamber. You make a very poor advisor, Kale. I might have spent my time romancing the King of Cloudrest or Alinor instead of the wretched royal husband of Queen Morgia. Kale knew better than to hurt his lady's vanity by the mere suggestion that the King of Firsthold might have come to love his Dunmer queen. Instead, he gave her a few minutes to pause and look from her balcony out over the high cliff palaces of the ancient capital. The moons shone like crystal on the deep sapphire waters of the Abasian Sea. It was ever springtide here, and he could well understand why she would prefer a throne in this land than in Cloudrest or Alinor. Finally he spoke. The people are with you, my lady. They do not relish the idea of Remon's dark elf heirs ruling the kingdom when he is gone. I wonder, she said calmly, I wonder if as the king would not give up his queen for want of alliances, whether she would give herself up out of fear. Of all the people of Firsthold, who most dislikes the Dunmer influence on the court? Is this a trick question, my lady? Asked Gale. Trebite monks, of course. Their credo has ever been for pure Altmer bloodlines on Somerset, and among the royal families most of all. But, my lady, they make very weak allies. I know, said Gialine, taking up her hookah again, thoughtfully, a smile creeping across her face. Morgaya has seen to it that they have no power. She would have exterminated them altogether had Remon not stopped her for all the good they would do for her. Had Remon not stopped her for all the good they do for the country folk, what if they found themselves with a very powerful benefactress? One with intimate knowledge of the court of Firsthold, the chief concubine of the king, and all the gold to buy weapons that her father, the king of Skywatch, could supply. Well armed and with the support of the country people, they would be formidable, nodded Kale. But as your advisor, I must warn you, if you make yourself an active foe of Queen Morgaya, you must play to win. She has an inherited much of her mother, Queen Barensia's intelligence and spirit of vengeance. She will not know I am her foe until it is too late, shrugged Jeline. Go to the Trebite Monastery and bring me Friar Lelam. We must strategize our plan of attack. For 2 weeks, Remon was advised about growing resentment in the countryside from peasants who called Morgaya the Black Queen, but it was nothing that he had not heard before. His attention was on the pirates on a small island off the coast called Kais Lar. They'd been more brazen as late, attacking royal barges in organized raids. To deliver a crushing blow, he ordered the greatest part of the militia to invade the island, an incursion he himself would lead. A few days after Remon left the capital, the revolt of the Trebite monks exploded. The attacks were well coordinated and without warning. The chief of the guards did not wait to be announced, bursting into Morgaya's bedchamber ahead of a flurry of maidservants. "My queen," he said, "it is a revolution." By contrast, Jeline was not asleep when Kale came to deliver the news. She was seated by the window, smoking her hookah, and looking at the fires far off in the hills. "Morgaya is with council," he explained. "I'm certain they're telling her the Trebite monks are behind the uprising, and the revolution will be at the city gates by morning." "How large is the revolutionary army in contrast to the remaining royal militia?" asked Jeline. "The odds are well in our favor," said Kale, "though not perhaps as much as we hoped. Country folk, it seems, like to complain about their queen, but stop short of insurrection. Primarily, the army is composed of the monks themselves, and a horde of mercenaries your father's gold bought. In a way of thinking, it is preferable this way. They are more professional and organized than a common mob. Really, they are a true army, complete with a horns section." "If that doesn't frighten the Black Queen into abdication, nothing will," smiled Jeline, rising from her chair. "The poor dear must be beside herself with worry." "I must fly to her side and enjoy it." Jeline was disappointed when she saw Morgaya come out of the council chambers. Considering that she'd been woken from a deep sleep with cries of revolution and had spent the last several hours in consultation with her meager general force, she looked beautiful. There was a sparkle of proud defiance in her bright red eyes. "My queen!" Jeline cried, forcing real tears. "I came as soon as I heard. Will we all be slaughtered?" "A distinct possibility," replied Morgaya simply. Jeline tried to read her, but the expressions of women, especially alien women, were a far greater challenge than those of Altmer men. "I hate myself for even thinking to propose this," said Jeline, "but since the cause of their fury is you, perhaps if you were to give up the throne, they might disperse. Please understand, my queen, I am thinking only of the good of the kingdom and our own lives." "I understand the spirit of your suggestion," smiled Morgaya, "and I will take it under advisement. Believe me, I've thought of it myself, but I don't think it will come to that." "Have you a plan for defending us?" asked Jeline, contorting her features to an expression she knew bespoke girlish hope. "The king left us several dozen of his royal battle mages," said Morgaya. "I think the mob believes we have nothing but palace guards and a few soldiers to protect us. When they get to the gates, they will be greeted with a wave of fireballs, and I find it highly likely that they will lose heart and retreat." "But isn't there some protection they could be using against such an assault?" asked Jeline in her best worried voice. "If they knew about it, naturally there is. But an unruly mob is likely to have mages skilled in the arts of restoration, by which they could shield themselves from the spells, or mysticism, by which they could reflect the spells back on the battle mages. That would be the worst scenario, but even if they were well organized enough to have mystics in their ranks, and enough of them to reflect so many spells, it just isn't done. No battlefield commander would advise such a defense during a siege unless he knew precisely what he was going to be meeting. And then, of course, once the trap is sprung, Morgaya winked. It's too late for a counting spell. "A most cunning solution, Your Highness," said Jeline, honestly impressed. Morgaya excused herself to meet with her battle mages, and Jeline gave her an embrace. Kale was waiting in the palace garden for his lady. "Are there mystics among the mercenaries?" she asked quickly. "Several, in fact," replied Kale, bewildered by her query. "Largely rejects from the Sijic order, but they know enough to cast the regular spells of the school. We must sneak out the city gates and tell Friar Lilim to have them cast reflection spells on all the front lines before they attack," said Jeline. "That's most irregular battlefield strategy," frowned Kale. "You I know it is, fool. That's why Magaya is counting on. There's a gang of battle mages who are going to be waiting on the battlements to greet our army with a barrage of fireballs. Battle mages? I would have thought that King Remon would have brought them with him to fight the pirates. He would have thought that, laughed Chilling. But then we would be defeated. Now go. Friar Leland agreed with Kale that it was a bizarre, unheard of way to begin a battle, casting reflection spells on all of one's troops. It went against every tradition, and as a Trebite monk, he valued tradition above every other virtue. There was little other choice, though, given the intelligence. He had few enough healers in the army as it was, and their energies could not be wasted casting resistance spells. At dawn's light, the rebel army was in sight of the gleaming spires of Firsthold. Friar Lilim gathered together every soldier who knew even the rudimentary secrets of mysticism, who knew how to tap into the elementary conundrums and knots of the energies of magic. Though few were masters of the art, their combined force was powerful to behold. A great surge of entangling power washed over the army, crackling, hissing, and infusing all with their ghostly force. When they arrived at the gates, every soldier, even the least imaginative, knew that no spell would touch him for a long time. Friar Lilim watched his army batter into the gates with the great satisfaction of a commander who has counteracted an unthinkable attack with an outrageous defense. The smile quickly faded from his face. They were met at the battlements, not by mages, but by common archers of the palace guard. As the flaming arrows fell upon the siegers like red rain, healers ran in to help the wounded. Their healing spells reflected off the dying men, one after the other. Chaos ruled as the attackers suddenly found themselves defenseless and began a panicked, unorganized retreat. Friar Lilim himself considered briefly holding his ground before fleeing himself. Later, he would send furious notes to Lady Gialine and Kale, but they were returned. Even his best secret agent within the palace was unable to find their whereabouts. Neither had, as it turns out, much previous experience with torture, and they soon confessed their treachery to the king's satisfaction. Kale was executed, and Gialine was sent back with escort to her father's court at Skywatch. He had still to find a husband for her. Reman, by contrast, has elected not to take a new royal concubine. The common folk of Firsthold consider this break in palace protocol to be more of the sinister alien influence of the Black Queen, and grumble to all who will listen. Thanks for watching. Wishing you found family, creative hobbies, a hot bath after a long day, and food you love as much as Saleya loves apple pies.